Are you wondering about the real estate market in Kensington these days? Well, that's what we're talking about today. So let's dive right in. Today is January 13th, 2021, and as Montgomery County remains in a partial shutdown, I'm keeping an eye on what's happening with Kensington Real Estate. Today we'll go through an overview of the December 2020 numbers for Kensington, so you can get a sense of what's been going on in the local real estate market last month. I've also included numbers for December of 2019 to help you get a little perspective about how it compares to a year ago. But first, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the new background color? I thought I'd do a little refresh for the new year. Here we go with the numbers. Total active properties, 4 in December 2020, 30 in December 2019. That's a decrease of 86%. New pendings, 19 in 2020, 13 in 2019. That's an increase of 46%. New listings, 13 versus 16. That's a decrease of 18%. Expired, withdrawn, and canceled properties, 11 versus 18. That's a decrease of 38%. And total settled properties, 30 versus 27. That's an increase of 11%. So, as you can see, the active inventory has continued to slide down. It's decreased 86% year over year. Yikes! Last month, I said that the new listing slide seemed to have slowed, but the numbers this month tell a totally different story. The slide has turned into a cliff. And I'm going to keep a close eye on the numbers as this month progresses and let you know during my next report how things are playing out. Part of the big drop is seasonal. Many homeowners don't want people tromping through their house during the holidays. And certainly another piece of the puzzle is the increase in the number of COVID cases, which gives people even more pause about having anyone in their home. Now that the vaccine is beginning to roll out, well, that may have a positive impact on people's comfort level on that front. Here's a graphic that I used last month, and I'll show it again. This shows the number of active listings every month for the past 5 years. I've marked the consistent seasonal dip starting in October every year. You can also see the steady march down in active listings over that time period as well. It's pretty impressive. So demand moved up, with new contracts rising by 46%. Combine that with the 13% drop in the new listings coming on the market, and you've got even less for buyers to choose from. The market is still firmly in the seller's favor, and houses that are attractively priced and show well are selling quickly and often with multiple offers. But remember those expired and withdrawn listings. Not every house sells, even in a market like this. Now let's take a quick look at the days on market and the list to sales ratio for the month of December. Median days on market for closed properties, 11. For active under contract properties, 22. And for pending properties, 6 days on the market. The list to sell ratio was 98.9%. And just to give you some historical perspective, over the past 5 years, the average has been 97.4%. Now we'll move on to median sales price. December 2020, $655,000 versus December 2019, $720,000. That's a decrease of 9%. But the year-to-date numbers, $649,500 versus $635,000 in December of 2019. That's an increase of 2.3%. So the year-over-year numbers moved down. Those could be changed by just a few low sales prices, but the year-to-date numbers are a bigger statistical sampling and so aren't as easily skewed. And that shows you that there's been just a little over a 2% increase in the values of properties in the area. Whenever I talk to people, they always want to know, how's the market? Well, the strong sellers market that we've been seeing for all of 2020 continues. and the month of December hasn't really shown us any change at all. I'll be watching to see how things change, but at less than 1 month's worth of active properties, it's got a long way to go before the balance tips in the buyer's favor. Of course, things could change. Well, no, they will change as we move into the new year. We could see a more balanced market, or even a buyer's market in the future. If the economy turns in a negative direction and buyer confidence is impacted, that'll change the dynamics of the real estate market. Our local real estate market continues to show strength, largely driven by the huge imbalance between supply and demand and the historically low interest rates. 17 times in 2020, we hit the lowest interest rates since they've been keeping records. If you feel like you're ready to buy or sell, there are certainly opportunities out there, especially if you're a seller. And if you're in a position where maybe you're not ready yet, it's a great time to start planning so that when you're comfortable moving forward, you'll be ready. You might think, well, it's too early, but I can tell you the whole process almost always takes longer than people expect, and you're better off being ready a little ahead of the game than too late. If you'd like to see my recent video about the great new program I've found that helps people buy and sell at the same time, well then click here. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel so you can get updates as they come out, click over there. If you have any questions for me, my contact information is below, or you can leave a comment in the remarks. Take care and stay safe.